Today we're reacting to times criminal bosses were killed by their own bodyguards. So stay tuned, I get right into that video though.
February 10th, 2002. Ramon Arellano Felix walks through a Mazatlan carnival crowd, hunting his biggest rival. Then his own underling calls his name. He turns. The bullets are already on the way. These are the 12 times cartel bosses, and mob kingpins were killed by their own bodyguards and sicarios.
But he was ruthless. I can tell you firsthand that he didn't have a conscience. Everybody knew he'd kill you for just looking at him wrong. He was a stone cold killer.
For nearly 2 decades, Ramon Arellano Felix was the most feared enforcer in Mexico. He led the assassination wing of the Tijuana cartel alongside his brothers. The FBI put him on the 10 most wanted fugitives list in 1997. And then, in early 2002, he made one mistake. He trusted the wrong man. By that point, El Chapo Guzman had escaped a Mexican prison and joined forces with Ismael El Mayo Zambada to wipe out the Arellano Felix organization. The two Sinaloa bosses had a long list of grievances. Friends killed, family members executed. They wanted Ramon dead, so they reached inside his own cartel. The man they turned was Carlos Tirado Lizarraga, one of Ramon's trusted underlings. According to journalist Anabel Hernandez, Sinaloa kidnapped Tirado's sister to force his cooperation. Then they fed him a story to pass up the chain. El Mayo Zambada, Tirado told his boss, was attending the Mazatlan Carnival with only 2 bodyguards. A perfect kill shot at the most powerful man in Mexico. Ramon took the bait. February 10th, 2002, he and his personal bodyguard, Alhambra, were slipped into the carnival crowd, carrying pistols, scanning for Zambada. Tirado walked alongside them. He was supposed to cover their escape. Instead, he shouted Ramon's name. Ramon turned. 2 Sinaloa gunmen came up behind him. The shots came fast. Ramon and his bodyguard collapsed on the sidewalk among the carnival floats. He was 37 years old. The Mexican government covered the entire operation as a routine traffic stop gone wrong. They claimed a local cop had shot Ramon after Ramon shot him first. That story held for years. The truth only emerged later, in pieces, through informants and journalists. El Mayo's brother explained it years afterward. "My brother told me Chapo was going to help him kill Ramon in Mazatlan," he said. "He had to. Ramon was too dangerous to leave alive." Less than a month later, Ramon's brother Benjamin was arrested. The Tijuana cartel never recovered.
He died on an empty stomach. And because it happened that way, the theory is the biggest mafia rub-out of the decade took place with considerable help from inside the dead mobster's family.
And the godfather of the Gambino family, his appearance in court every day, and the preoccupation with his defense were bad for business. Experts say his associates may very well have decided Big Paul was more trouble than he was worth.
December 16th, 1985, 5:30 in the evening. Paul Castellano pulls up to Spark Steakhouse on East 46th Street in Manhattan, expecting a quiet dinner with his lieutenants. He doesn't know it yet, but the meeting was set up by his own capo to kill him. Castellano was the boss of the Gambino crime family. He had taken over from Carlo Gambino in 1976. He ran the family like a CEO, meat distribution, construction, trucking. He banned his soldiers from dealing drugs under penalty of death. That ban infuriated a Queens-based capo named John Gotti, whose crew was deep into heroin. Gotti knew that the moment Castellano found out about the drug operation, he was dead. So Gotti decided to strike first. But he needed someone inside Castellano's inner circle. He got one. Capo Frank De Chico, a man Castellano had personally promoted and trusted, agreed to flip. De Chico set up the Sparks meeting and tipped Gotti to the time, the place, and the seating arrangement. When Castellano stepped out of his black Lincoln onto 46th Street, 4 shooters in trench coats and Russian fur hats were already waiting. Their names were Salvatore Scala, Vincent Artuso, Edward Lino, and John Carnelia. They opened fire as Castellano and his underboss bodyguard, Thomas Bilotti, walked toward the restaurant entrance. Gotti and his number two, Sammy Gravano, watched from a parked Lincoln across the street, coordinating the entire hit by walkie-talkie. Castellano died on the pavement. Bilotti died next to him. The famous photograph from that night, Big Paul lying beside his car, his shoes off the curb, became the most iconic image in American mafia history. Gotti became boss within 2 weeks. The commission, the ruling council of the five families, never approved the hit. And 5 months later, Frank De Chico, the inside man who had sold Castellano out, climbed into his car in Brooklyn. A car bomb tore him apart on the street. Gotti was eventually convicted of ordering Castellano's murder. He died in federal prison in 2002.
Estas fotografías y esta tarjeta de cadactilar son la prueba que tienen las autoridades para confirmar que Wilber Alirio Varela, alias Jabón, jefe del cartel del norte del Valle, sí fue asesinado el pasado 30 de enero en un exclusivo complejo turístico de Mérida, en Venezuela.
Wilber Varela was the last great kingpin of Colombian cocaine. A former police sergeant who switched sides, he took over the Norte del Valle cartel in 2002. The U.S. Department of Justice estimated his organization had shipped over 500 metric tons of cocaine, worth more than $10 billion. They put a $5 million bounty on his head. By 2008, Varela was hiding in the mountains of Venezuela, paying off Venezuelan generals and politicians to stay alive. He had already survived a cartel civil war that killed an estimated 1,000 people. He thought he was untouchable in his mountain cabin in Mérida. He was wrong. His own two top lieutenants, Diego Rastrojo and Comba, had cut a deal with rival drug lord Daniel El Loco Barrera. Barrera wanted Varela's eastern Colombian smuggling routes. The two lieutenants wanted everything else. The night of January 29, 2008, Varela was sleeping at the Fresh Air Cabin Resort on the outskirts of Mérida. His personal bodyguard, known only as El Grasoso, the greasy one, slept in the next room. His driver, Goyo, was sent out before dawn to buy breakfast. When Goyo returned an hour later, he saw the bullet holes in the cabin door. He didn't stop. He didn't go inside. He turned the car around and ran. Inside the cabin, Varela was already dead. El Grasoso, his bodyguard, was dead beside him. Varela had been traveling under a false identity. It took Venezuelan forensics 32 fingerprint points to confirm the body in the morgue was actually the most wanted man in Colombia. The Colombian newspaper El Tiempo ran the headline that summed it all up: Al Capo Varela lo mató su gente. The Capo was killed by his own people. Rastrojo and Comba took the western routes. Loco Barrera took the eastern ones. Varela's son was murdered the following year. Within 5 years, every man involved in his death would be in U.S. federal prison or in the ground.
Alright guys, I'm making this one too long because I gotta react to our next video. But all the city madness are gone in this video, yeah. I have no ways. But anyways, other than that, make sure to subscribe to see more videos from me. I post in daily, mostly every other day, but daily. So we out in the next video. Ready?